With communication lines severed and the power grid destroyed, Cobra 1's relentless assault left the Crimson Bears battalion reeling. Yet, just as victory seemed within reach, unexpected forces emerged on the battlefield. Units using NSDF-designed vehicles, but marked with unfamiliar symbols, intervened, coordinating with Soviet troops to extract a captive scientist and an alien relic of unknown origin. As Cobra 1's forces engaged these mysterious operatives, it became clear that someone, somewhere, was orchestrating events far beyond a simple Soviet offensive. A captured KGB official revealed fragments of a larger truth. The relic belonged to an alien armory, and its secrets could tip the balance of power in space. But even more alarming, the possibility of traitors within the NSDF itself threatened everything Cobra Company had fought to protect. For Commander Shaw and the Black Dogs, the mission is no longer just survival. It's a race to uncover the truth behind these false flag NSDF forces and their role in the CCA's invasion. Cut off from any reinforcements and with trust in their own command now in question, the Black Dogs must carve out a hidden base on the lunar surface, a sanctuary which they can plan their next move and, one day, warn America of the threat within. Hey lurkers, welcome back to my Battlezone Total Command series. Today we've got our 4th mission, Black Dogs Mission 2, Preparations to Tackle. So let's get this briefing underway. Battlezone update. While trying to recruit the NSDF scientists, Cobra Company expected fierce resistance from the Crimson Bears. What they didn't expect was to find NSDF forces working with the Soviets. The nature and extent of the CCA and NSDF partnership is unknown. While the vehicles have a different appearance to any known NSDF group, they are NSDF designs. Commander Shaw has speculated that they may have even helped the CCA with its initial invasion. Unfortunately, the extent of their treachery is unknown, and uncovering it will be priority for the Black Dogs. Black Dog Squadron update, Cobra. We must set up our own base which will be used at the appropriate time as the launch site for returning to Earth and telling the people what has transpired here. The NSDF units observed leaving the Soviet base confirm our fears of collusion. We now must assume that we are on our own. Defend the base at all costs.
Cobra 1, you'll mostly be defending in this mission. After our discovery of the Soviet-American alliance, we must assume that we are on our own. To this end, we are constructing a new command base. Do not stray too far from this base.
Recycler here.
Alright, so deploy your recycler pretty much in the corner just to the left there. Keep it out of the way, out of the center. You're going to want a little bit of room when you're building a base. You haven't got the full building kit given to you, so you won't need too much room. Pretty much follow the instructions. Build your scavengers, you want 2, and then you immediately want to set them to scavenge scrap metal off the ground.
Scavenger here. Getting scrap. Building complete. Yes, sir. In transit. Getting scrap. Getting scrap. Recycler here. Construction started. Building complete. In transit. In transit.
For our defensive line, we're going to set up along this ridge line here. Get our badges set up. You're going to want a full group of 10 in the future. But for now, just build as you can when you get the scrap when you can. Just put them up on that ridge line. Make sure they got a clear line of sight. Your enemy's going to be coming from that direction. Make sure to give your turrets a little bit of spacing so they're not going to cut each other down, but keep them nice and wide as well.
Building complete. In transit. In transit. In transit. Badger here.
There is no real means to repair the cycler in this mission, so make sure you prevent any damage you can.
Turret deployed. Turret deployed.
Also, a thing to note is your recyclers will want to wander away to get scrap further across the map. Try and keep them close to your base. You will be attacked fairly regularly here, and this is going to be your main way of developing scrap to develop more vehicles.
Rolling. Getting scrap. Yes, sir. Recycler here. Construction
It is worthwhile to
started.
keep a few repair pods handy, just simply because you're going to go take a decent amount of damage and you want to be able to heal up quickly as possible. The attack waves can get quite
In
large.
transit. In transit. Turret deployed. In transit. Badger here. Badger here. Badger here. In transit. Turret deployed.
So your next objective is to build both a factory and a armory. I decided to build the armory first because your turrets will take a bit of damage in this mission. Your only way to really repair them is from unless you want to undeploy them, send them to the recycler or a supply pod, and then send them back to position. The easiest way to do it is just get the armory to lob them a supply depot. Because we're playing on the Total Command mod in Battlezone 2, your factory and armory can be built from your recycler under the 0 tab. This is to emulate how it works obviously in Battlezone 98 Redux and Battlezone 1. You can still build these vehicles through the Hevel or the construction rig, however it will cost 20 scrap more to do it this way, where if you do it through the recycler it only costs you 40. So where you can, you should try and build these two vehicles / units and buildings through your recycler where possible. Also watch out for this wide attack wave. You want to protect the storage silo there as well. It increases your max scrap capacity and you are going to need all the scrap you can get.
Recycler here. Construction started. Building complete. Recycler here. Construction started. Building. Building complete. Recycler here. Construction started. Grizzly here. Grizzly here. Building complete. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In transit. Getting scrap. Grizzly here. Protecting the flock. Getting scrap. Scavenger here. Getting scrap. Getting scrap. Recycler here. Construction started.
Keep putting turrets along this ridge line up here. Make sure it's nice and wide from pretty much all the way to the other end where the enemies might sneak in through. Just want to try and catch them before they sneak around and get your factory and recycler.
Recycler here. Construction started.
Once you're comfortable, build your factory and deploy it in a available spot. Make sure you have enough room for the vehicles to be deployed. They are flung out from the ramp, so you don't want your vehicles getting, or your units to get caught behind your buildings.
Construction started. Unit factory online.
For now, just build turrets until you feel safe enough. Then your next thing you want to do is build your constructor.
In transit. In transit. Deploying. Turret deployed.
While the attack waves on the base, it will generally ignore your scavengers, so you should be safe to leave them out there if you need to. Still, the reason why you want to keep them close to base is, again, all your scrap is coming from these attack waves, and you want to be able to pick that up as quickly as possible before the scrap despawns.
Recycler here. Recycler here.
Grabbing aggro of the attack wave means you can try and drag them back to your turret line.
Armory here.
This is where you use the armory to repair your turrets that take battle damage. Just usually 2 supply pods should be enough to heal them up.
Armory here. Recycler here. Recycler here. Construction started. Building complete. In transit. In transit. In transit. In transit. Scavenger here. Getting scrap.
I've decided to recycle that third scavenger because I don't really need it now. I'll usually keep one close to base and let the other one free roam and go where it wants.
Scavenger here. Recycling. Recycler here. Construction started.
We have our construction unit now, the Heavel. Your next objective here is to build the comm tower. So you're going to need to put down a solar power before you build the comm tower. Comm tower is pretty expensive, it costs 60 scrap, so you will have to save up a little bit to build that. After we've done that, we'll get our next proper objective.
Building. In transit. In transit. Building complete. Building complete. Badger here. In transit. Getting scrap. Yes, sir. Construction rig here. On my way. Turret deployed. Badger here. In transit.
You don't have to micro the turrets as hard as I do, but I do like to make sure to have a clear sight line over that hill. And backwards into the base just in case.
Grizzly here. Stay put. Turret deployed. Badger here. Grizzly here. Who's next? Protecting
This mission does have a few long periods of waiting for attack waves, so you've got the scrap. If you really are in a pinch, you could recycle your units, but I don't recommend it.
construction rig here. Scavenger here. Standing ground. Armory here.
Once the comm tower is built, you'll be given your next objective.
Building. Building complete.
We believe the Soviets are building a base of their own. We must destroy this base before it becomes too great a threat.
So, with the satellite view, you can of course see the entire map, but unless you have something friendly within visual range, you can't see what's there. You can, however, pick up noises. So, if you're sitting around with your camera at a choke point while in satellite view, you should be able to hear when an enemy attack wave's incoming, because you'll hear the vehicle engines as they move towards your base.
Recycler here.
Speaking of, looks like we've got an attack wave incoming. I'm just putting some proxy mines on their known travel paths, just to get a bit of bonus damage in.
Satellite activated.
Looks like a good hit.
Rolling.
These Grendels have the capability of wiping out a turret in 2 shots if they manage to get a full burst off. So keep an eye on your turrets and don't be afraid to intercept and engage them to try and take the pressure off your turrets.
Scavenger here. Getting scrap. Recycler here. Construction started.
After every attack wave, double check on your turrets and heal the ones that have taken damage.
Armory here. Complete. In transit. Recycler here. Construction started. Turret deployed. Badger here. Building complete. In transit. Recycler here. Construction started.
Satellite activated.
Now that you have the command view as well, it is worthwhile to put down a nav beacon in your base. Now you can do that before you have a command center just by using the default N key on your keyboard. However, I like to name my nav points. Guess it's maybe a slight OCD thing. I like my wordization.
Recycler here. Construction started. Building. In transit. Unit factory here. In transit. In transit. Turret deployed. Building complete. In transit. Turret deployed. Turret deployed. Badger here. In transit.
Once your defensive line's set up, it's time to start building an army. You can't really go wrong with building grizzly tanks. They're dependable, they're reliable. You also have access to the Bobcat and the Wolverine. The Bobcat is a light tank running stiletto cannons, slow firing, slow moving but hard hitting shells, and then the Wolverine is using shadower missiles, which they're versatile, good at dealing with light craft, which is what you'll predominantly be dealing with in this mission.
Grizzly here. Rolling. Unit factory here. Badger here. In transit. Badger here. In transit. Turret deployed.
With access to the armory, you can now also call in weapons to replace or up armor your vehicle if you wish. It does come at a scrap cost, but can be good situationally. You can also do it from the factory and the recycler, however that increases the cost of the vehicle to be built, and scrap is a bit tight on this mission. Plus the default loadouts will be more than enough for what we need here.
Armory here. Scavenger here. Getting scrap. Scavenger here. In transit. Getting scrap.
Don't forget to replace any turrets you lose. You will need the defense later. So unlike Battlezone 1, being in the Battlezone 2 engine means we don't have to worry about pilot count. So there is no shame or worry to build as many units as you want. Just make sure you've got room for them to be built and deployed.
Badger here. In transit. Recycler here.
With the access of the armory as well, now's the perfect time as a player to experiment with different weapons, items and bits and bobs the game offers on your vehicles to see what they do. The in-game descriptions aren't that great, so best way to get a feel for these weapons is to put them on your vehicle and see what they do.
Armory here.
Now, while the Black Dog vehicles come with the Super Stabber by default, the unfortunate thing is they lack the utility compared to the NSDF counterparts by not coming with the Thumper or another much more useful device rather than the proxy mines. I would recommend take a Thumper. It does help on the defense here, as when the enemies come through that choke point, you can thump them to do some serious damage, making it easy for your turrets to clean up.
Building complete. In transit. In transit. In transit. In transit. Grizzly here. Turret deployed. Rolling.
Also, make sure on this mission you save often. It is a decently long mission. You don't want to have to redo 20-30 minutes of game time because you made one mistake.
Armory here.
With our defensive plan in check, I would recommend when you use the thumper, move forward from your turrets so you don't damage them. They will take a big hit if it hits them.
Recycler here. Unit factory here.
Another reason why to set up on this hill is that if you're getting shot at and you need to take cover, you can pull back behind it. Missiles don't go through mountains. Some random vow man on the internet said.
Armory here. Building supplies deployed. Recycler here. Construction started. Building. Building complete. Armory here. Building supplies deployed.
Satellite activated.
Rolling. Moving. Unit complete. Rolling. Moving. Grizzly here. Moving. Rolling.
Once you've built about 7 to 10 tanks, send them up towards just outside the CCB base. You don't want to attack it just yet, just have them ready to go. They should be safe, they won't get attacked, the AI will come right at you rather than engage your vehicles on the field. So,
Armory here. Unit factory here. Scavenger here. Standing ground.
Satellite activated.
Rolling. Yes, sir. Building complete. Scavenger here. Getting scrap. Armory here. Building supply. Armory here. Armory here. Building supplies deployed.
Satellite activated.
Looks like we've got a couple of gun towers, and from what I can hear, I'm assuming a couple of turrets as well. Turrets don't, turrets make noise, gun towers don't. Oh.
Rolling. 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 Unit factory here. Building underway.
It can be hard to gauge distance in the satellite view, so give more room than you actually need.
I'm going. I'm going. I'm going.
It's worthwhile to build up a bunch of support vehicles. Your 7 tanks, if you micro them really well or went to fight with them, probably could take out this base. However, it's going to be sketchy at best, and you will be better off being served staying at the base. Looks like the Soviets are sending another scrap delivery.
Armory here. Building
I'm changing it out of the chain gun back down to the minigun here, just so I have a little bit more ammo. The Thumper uses a lot, and I still want the ability to be able to shoot some regular bullets, just in case.
Armory here.
If you want to be able to queue up your buildings to build multiple units at once when they have the scrap available, just hold down the shift key and then the corresponding unit button.
Recycler here. Construction started. Building. Getting scrap. Getting scrap. Building complete.
Satellite activated.
Armory here. Building supplies. Armory here. Deployed. Building supplies deployed. Armory here. Building supplies deployed. Armory here. I'm going. I'm going. Bobcat here. Yes, sir. I'm going. Unit factory here.
Two groups of units should be enough to attack the CBB base. However, I would also recommend keeping some units as a defense force. You will get a retaliation strike as you engage. On that note as well, I would also recommend you stay back at the base and command this attack via satellite.
Unit factory here. Yes, sir.
This is the one weakness of the Battlezone series. The AI is not the brightest.
Unit factory here. Scavenger here. Standing ground. Armory here. Armory here. Armory here. Building supplies. Armory here. Deployed. Building supplies. Deployed. Armory here. Building supplies. Deployed. Scavenger here. Getting scrap.
Before you commit to the attack on the base, I recommend making a save.
Satellite activated.
Unit factory here. Building underway. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Getting scrap.
The best time to make your attack is when the Soviets send their own attack out. When they get just out of their base, that's when you want to engage. You do not want to be trying to fight through those turrets while an attack wave is on the way to your base. The AI, once it's been attacked, will attack your units or you.
Moving. Bobcat here. I'm going. Moving. Grizzly here. No mercy. Yes, sir. Bobcat here. Yes,
When
sir.
you make your attack, send your heavy tanks in first, have your light tanks come up second. Light tanks can't take as many hits, they're pretty fragile, but their cannons are pretty strong.
Victor, copy, bingo. Grizzly here. Attacking enemy. Target down. No mercy. Bobcat here. In combat. Victor, copy, bingo. Engaging. Target down. In combat.
The Americans are assisting the Soviets and a major attack force is on the way. Destroy this attack force.
Offensive unit lost.
Your units on the attack in the base should be okay for a while. You will need all your attention to hold this attack wave. It's going to be beefy and it's going to be big. Be prepared for a fight.
Offensive unit lost. Offensive unit lost. Scavenger lost. Damage critical.
Recycler here. Construction started.
Defensive unit lost.
Building complete. Recycler here. Construction started. Building complete. Yes, sir.
From here on out, you're going to get attacked by both the CCB and the Trader NSDF forces, so you want to try and clear the CCB off the map as quickly as possible. The NSDF forces will be coming off map, you can't really do anything about them.
Satellite activated.
Grizzly here. No mercy. Bobcat here. In combat. Engaging. In combat. Attacking enemy. No mercy. Engaging. Target down.
The fake NSDF forces, their tanks and vehicles are up armoured and up gunned compared to normal vehicles. They do hit hard, so be prepared for them.
Getting scrapped. Unit complete. I'm on my way. Eat dirt, commie pinko. Grizzly here. Attacking enemy. No mercy. Recycler here. Wolverine here. You got it. Eat dirt, commie pinko. I'm on my way. Attacking enemy. No mercy.
Once the CBB base is destroyed, recall your units back to your base.
No mercy. Eat dirt, commie pinko. Recycler here. Construction started. Building. Getting scrapped. Getting scrapped. Building complete.
Scavenger lost. Defensive
Unit factory here.
lost.
Building underway.
Defensive unit lost.
Recycler here. Construction started.
Warning. Damage.
Now that was just rude.
Complete. Rolling. Moving. Stay put. Grizzly here. Yes, sir.
You can get by on one scavenger, but I do still recommend two. When you can, rebuild any lost scavengers. If you don't have 20 scrap, you have to recycle a vehicle, so you get another scavenger back.
Rolling. Moving. 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 Rolling. Wolverine here.
With nowhere to go, and you'll find that the CBB pilots will start shooting randomly at your vehicles. It's not a fair fight.
Construction started. transit. Wolverine here. I'm on my way. Turret deployed. Wolverine here.
Just keep holding out. After a few more attack waves, the NSDF forces will retreat, and that will be your mission complete.
Wolverine here. In transit. Time to kill. Action, baby. Turret deployed.
Offensive unit lost.
Enter copy bingo. Building complete. In transit. Recycler here. Turret deployed. Construction started. Badger here. Building complete. Yes, sir. Badger here. In transit. Badger here.
Satellite
In
activated.
transit. Badger here. In transit. Grizzly here. Rolling. Turret deployed. Armory here. Armory here. Armory here. Armory here. Armory here. Turret Armory deployed. Here. Armory deployed. Here. Armory here. Grizzly here. Yes, sir.
Satellite
Grizzly
activated.
here. Rolling. Grizzly here. Yes, sir. Rolling. Wolverine here. I'm on my way. Moving. Moving. Rolling. Grizzly here. Yes, sir. Bobcat here. I'm going. Getting scrap. Getting scrap. Getting scrap.
Defensive unit lost.
Well done, Corporal One. The Americans and the Soviets have been defeated.
Scavenger
And
here.
that's the end of
Getting
Mission
scrap.
4. Excellent work. Now that we've started a base on the moon, we can use it at an appropriate time to head home and tell the people what has happened here. While the presence of a traitorous rogue NSDF force working with the Soviets on the moon is disturbing, Commander Shaw has ordered you onto Mars for a sensitive mission. And that's the end of Mission 4. Next mission, Mission 5, we'll be back with mainline NSDF forces as we finally land on Mars for the mission, The Relic Discovered. As usual, if you like what I'm doing here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.